Congratulations, Presidente! Your swift rise to power is an inspiration to us all. I am your most humble and loyal advisor, Penultimo. Although your wisdom knows no bounds, let me provide a few starting pointers on ruling our magnificent nation. Please press the OK button if you will condescend to listen to my plea. A good ruler knows what goes on in every corner of his country. Let us take a better look at our island. Try panning the view by moving the mouse cursor to the edges of the screen. Sometimes you will want to take a closer look at the little people on the streets and their daily lives. Try zooming in as close as possible with the mouse wheel or the page down key. Good job, President! Marvelous! The world becomes bigger or smaller according to your whims, Presidente. Now, why don't you give it a spin by rotating the camera? Just hold the middle mouse button or the... Bueno! You can... According to our intellectuals and some guy named Albert, time is relative to the whims of whoever is in power. You can change the speed with the buttons placed above the mini-map. Try accelerating time to fastest speed using the highlighted button. Look how fast those Tropicans go, Presidente! Let us slow down a bit so we can... Very good, Presidente! Do you know what the most precious resource of Tropico is? Why, it's the people, of course. And you need to know what goes on in their heads to make the best use of them. Select a citizen by left-clicking on him with your mouse. It will be easier to find the citizen if you zoom in the view.
Excelencia?
The bars in the Overall tab represent what a citizen needs. Presidente, what can be more important than the happiness of your people? Your happiness, of course, but the happiness of the people is important as well. You can see how happy they are by selecting the Happiness tab. Open the Happiness tab. You may have to select a citizen again to do so.
¿Qué?
Here you can see how pleased this person is by the different factors in his life. His job, his house, the healthcare he receives, and so on. Each of these has different importance to any particular citizen and contributes to his overall happiness. As you can see, food quality is one of the factors that determines the happiness of your people. If you would like to see how to improve it, click OK. When people are hungry, they go. It is very important to have your farms produce enough food for the masses. Right now, they are all producing tobacco that the people cannot eat. Open the Overall tab and change the work mode. You have given your order, and your farmers are on their way to plant papaya. Most things in Tropico take time. For instance, it will take several months for the new crop to grow. A patient ruler like you knows that it is better to wait for results than to change his mind every few months. Press OK to continue. It seems that this farm is also understaffed. In order to attract more workers, you should increase the wages. You can do that from the Fees and Salaries tab. Open the Fees and Salaries tab and increase the wages using the slide or the right arrow in the panel and wait a while until the farm is fully staffed. Please, Presidente, can you fire Pedro Mendoza for me? He is lazy and always complains about everything. Not to mention that he shamelessly cheats at poker. In order to fire him, you need to select his workplace, the Teamster's office, and right-click on his portrait in the Fees and Salaries tab.
Excelencia. ¿Qué?
Muy buena.
Haha! Goodbye, Pedro, and good luck on the labor market. Now, an honest Tropican will be able to take this job. I spent a good deal of my time compiling useful info for our country in the Presidential Almanac. Care to take a look, Presidente? Open the Almanac by clicking on the highlighted button. You can check different statistics related to the current situation on the island in the Almanac. It is good to check on it often. Click OK to close this notification. Browse the Almanac as long as you wish. When you are ready, close it by clicking on the X at the lower right corner. Tropico makes its pesos from tobacco exports at the moment. When the tobacco crops are ready, the farmers gather them and store them at the farm. Then Teamsters from the Teamster's office come to transport them to the dock. Finally, the dock workers will load them onto ships and our country will get money. This is not as complicated as it sounds. Tropicans will do all this on their own. You just have to spend all the money they earn for you. Speaking of money, click on the OK button to learn about your personal Swiss bank account.
y empezó a estudiar Kung Fu. Día 4 de diciembre, la gata se me subió y me dijo mi madrina, la gata, lo que le da el chango. Mi gatica, qué rica. Gatica mía. Me tiene loco. ¡Qué barbaridad! Loca, baila rumba. Yo no te voy a llevar conmigo, gata loca, si tú no te pones para las cosas. Gata loca. No me hace caso, ella es una mentirosa. Gata. Miau. Porque en La Habana hay una gata loca. Como hay locas, Ave María. Ponte pa' tu cosa. Gata loca, baila rumba. Con mamborama baila, estos son sabrosos. Negra, ponte pa' la cosa. Gata loca, baila. Camina, 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 camina y ven para La Habana, que la cosa aquí está sabrosa. Gata loca, baila rumba. Ya me lo digo melón, corazón de melón. Quédate quieta, quítate, que te dan araña, me haces todo.
You can check different statistics related to the current situation on the island in the almanac. It is good to check on it often. Click OK to close this notification. Browse the all. Tropico makes its pesos from tobacco exports at the moment. When the tobacco crops are ready, the farmers gather them and store them at the farm. Then teamsters from the teamster's office come to transport them to the dock. Finally, the dock workers will load them onto ships and our country will get money. This is not as complicated as it sounds. Tropicans will do all this on their own. You just have to spend all the money they earn for you. Speaking of money, click on the OK button to learn about your personal Swiss bank account.
A las 5 de la mañana, la gata loca deja la cama.
Presidente, let me tell you about your pension fund. Like all good things, your mandate may come to an end someday in the far future. So it is always a good idea to have a small fortune stashed in your Swiss bank. There are a few different ways to lead stray money there. One of them is the special building permit edict. Click on the edicts button at the bottom of your screen and I will tell you more. Edicts are different presidential orders that can change the life of ordinary Tropicans dramatically. Take your time to look at all the possibilities. When you are ready, issue the Special Building Permit Edict that is located in the Economy tab. When you activate the edict, a detailed description will be offered and you will have to confirm the order. Presidente, it is always good to practice your election speeches. In your election speeches, you can promise, claim, and praise. You need only give me the briefest details, and I, Penultimo, will put together the complete speech for you. Since we are only practicing, you will not actually hear this speech. Please press OK when you are ready to continue. The island is running smoothly, but you may address any hot issue that you view as a serious problem. You may praise anyone you wish. I am sure they will appreciate it. As for promises, the religious faction is always on my back because we still have not built a church.
Si tú no te pones pa' las cosas, gata loca, baila. Ella no me hace caso, ella es una mentirosa. Gata, como hay locas, Ave María. Negra, ponte pa' la cosa. Gata, loca, baila. Camina, 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 camina y ven para La Habana, que la cosa aquí está sabrosa. Gata, loca, baila. Ya me lo digo, melón, corazón de león. Quítate, que te dan araña, me haces.
¡Ay, caramba! Presidente, It seems that the practice speech has somehow been leaked to the public. The religious faction is very pleased at the moment, but if you do not fulfill your promise, they will not vote for you in the next election. You'd better construct a church. You'll even get something for your Swiss bank account because of the edict you issued previously. Right-click anywhere in the view. Then select a church from the Human Services tab and place it on a valid spot. Make sure the construction is located somewhere near your existing structures. Very good, Presidente. These good-for-nothing builders have started working on the church. Let us wait until it is completed. Make sure you have not paused the game. Remember, things take time in Tropico. You can increase the speed if you have no patience for these slow construction workers. Click OK to proceed.
¿Qué necesita? ¿Qué? ¿Qué necesita?
Our new church is ready, Presidente, but there is no priest, so it stays locked. Not every faithful is cut out to be a priest. In order to preach sermons to the faithful, the worker must have at least a high school education. Since we don't have our own high school, let me tell you how to invite skilled workers from abroad. Select the church, open the Fees and Salaries tab, and then click the Hire Foreign Workers button in the info panel. Your new priest will arrive on the next ship. enough about the affairs of the little people, Presidente. Let me introduce you to the single most important person on our island. Yourself. Click on the Select Avatar button.
What matter requires President?
I am glad you decided to get out of the palace, Presidente. Let us go for a walk in our beautiful country. If you take care to build roads and garages, you would also be able to travel with your limo. But for now, let us concentrate on the basics. With your avatar selected, right-click on any clear spot to travel there.
Time for a walk.
The people love you, my Presidente. And you should take care to always keep them on your side, no? A coup d'etat or an uprising is not a pretty sight. You can address the people from the balcony of your palace. This will increase their respect towards you. With your avatar selected, right-click on the palace to go and give a speech from the balcony.
Speak fast. I don't have all day.
Presidente, I can now see why you are in power and I am just your humble servant. You truly know how to move the people's hearts. There are many other actions you can try. You can make official visits to buildings, speed up constructions, and even shoot down traitors and rebels if need be. I think you can now continue without me. I, Penultimo, have a project of my own to be working on. Do you happen to know a pharmacist who sells poison at an affordable price?
Buenas tardes. ¿Qué necesita?
Never fear, President is here. Make it so. Time to check up on my people.
Buenas tardes.
Surveys suggest that the popularity of El Presidente has been dropping since the beginning of his regime. This may be due to his lackluster relations with the leading factions on the island.
What is it now? This better be important.
A recent survey among the population of Tropico has revealed that most of the citizens on the island are unhappy with their quality of life. We suspect that a statistical error is responsible for those flawed results.
Buenas tardes. ¿Qué necesita?
Uh-huh.
Good morning, comrades! This is TNT, the voice of Free Tropico. We have great news. Apparently, the great Russian bear wants to give us a big furry hug. El Presidente said in a special communique that, I quote, "We wholeheartedly accept the smothering embrace of Mother Russia and believe in the everlasting comradeship between our great nations." Yesterday, I got robbed in plain daylight. Twice! The second time, the guy didn't believe my money was taken and just beat me up. I know there is crime in every society, but ours is getting a tad too much.
Buenos días. Muy buena.
¿Sí?
Breaking news! El Presidente survived the 18th attempt on his life this morning, finding some glass in his soup. 3 Tropicans demand immediate thorough investigations.
Buenos días. No me interesa.
Information has leaked from government officials that the Tropican treasury is full to the brim with money. Rumor has it that El Presidente secretly goes there at night to swim around in the wads of cash.